Ringbilled gull has many different characteristics, and its history has basically the premise for a well-organized children's adventure movie. The closest found dinosaur that is related to the gull is the Archaeopteryx, which means ancient wing.
Their phylum is Chordata, class is Aves, order is Syconiformes, family is Lauridae, their symmetry is bilateral, and species is Larcus stellaवर्nis. The respiratory system they have is called the avian respiratory system. The avian respiratory system delivers oxygen from the air to the tissues and also removes carbon dioxide. In addition, the respiratory system plays an important role in thermoregulation, which is maintaining the normal body temperature. The avian respiratory system is different from that of other vertebrates, with birds having relatively small lungs plus 9 air sacs that play an important role in respiration. Consider seagulls, which are provided with the counter-current exchange process to solve a life or death problem. Depending on their location and season, seagulls may spend their time standing on freezing water or directly upon ice. How are they able to maintain a warm core temperature in these extreme conditions? As warm blood moves from the heart downward through the legs and towards the feet, the arteries are lined with cooled blood, which is returning upward in the veins. Lace-like capillaries weave together to bring the warm and cool blood supplies into close contact. As a result of the heart exchange process, the downward-moving blood is already cool when it reaches the feet. Conversely, the upward-moving blood is already re-warmed by the time it returns to the seagull's body. In this way, the body temperature remains at 100 degrees Fahrenheit or greater, even when the feet experience sub-freezing conditions. Birds have a small intestine that seems very similar to the small intestine of mammals. A duodenum, jejunum, and ileum are defined, although these segments are not as historically distinct as in mammals. The proximal small intestine receives bile from the liver and digestive enzymes from the pancreas, and the absorptive epithelial cells are decorated with essentially the same battery of enzymes and transporters as in mammals. The large intestine consists of a short colon and typically a parasissa. Short villi extend into the lumen of the colon, unlike what is seen in mammals. The cloaca is an extended tubular structure that it serves as a common opening of the digestive, reproductive, and urinary systems, which opens to the outside of the bird as the vent. As in mammals, the large intestine's primary function is absorption of water and electrolytes. Antiperistalsis that originates in the cloaca is the prominent pattern of motility in the avian colon and has been suggested to assist not only in filling the sissa, but to flush urine from the cloaca into the large gut for absorption of water.
Birds have a glandular and muscular stomach or gizzard. The glandular stomach receives food from the esophagus and secretes mucus. HC1, a pepsinogen, similar to what is seen in the mammalian stomach. The gizzard is a disc-shaped, very muscular, and contains small stones that facilitate grinding food. One of the gizzard's 2 openings receives ingesta from the glandular stomach and the other empties into the duodenum. A complex cycle of contractions involving the 2 stomachs force feed back and forth between the 2, grinding it and increasing exposure to digestive enzymes. There is also periodic retropulsion of duodenal contents back into the stomachs. Again, likely smoothing mixing of ingesta with enzymes.
The natural shape of a wing is called airfoil. As the wing moves through the air, air flows above and below. The airflow over the upper surface has to move farther and the airflow under the lower part of the wing. Due to this airflow, the air on the upper part of the wing has a lower pressure than the air moving under the lower part of the wing. This difference in air pressure causes lift. The lift force occurs because the air has a lower pressure just above the wing and higher pressure below the wing. In other words, a seagull with the air moving over its wings is pulled up from above and pushed up from below.
How do they do this? If the power does not come from flapping their wings, where does it come from? The seagulls are taking advantage of the upward movements of air called thermals. The seagulls are resting on currents of air that are moving upward. Many seagulls find these thermals and use them for the upward push they give. These seagulls are slowly gliding downward on a current. Speed is the most important part in making lift. Speed can be increased by increasing the forward speed of the wing itself as it travels through the air. The seagull makes its forward motion and speed by flapping its wings. We previously defined this motion as thrust. If a seagull doubles its speed, the bird will get 4 times the lift. If the seagull triples the speed, it will get 9 times the lift. Sometimes seagulls can glide and soar for a long time. It seems like they almost drift along a beach while they look for their next snack.
When a seagull flaps its wings continue to develop lift as before, but they also create an additional forward and upward force called thrust to counteract its weight and drag. Wings flapping involves 2 stages, a downstroke, which provides the majority of the thrust, and the upstroke, which can also provide some upward force. Typically, they are vicious animals who are just big bullies. They taunt other animals about their inability to fly and how they're on top ring of the evolutionary ladder, which isn't even true, hence the term bird brain. Gulls are tolerant around passive humans, however, still can bear being around active humans if there is something they want, such as food. They adapt to humans, but not vice versa.
These birds are highly adaptable, and while they typically don't mind living in areas heavily populated by humans, they are also cunning, devious, and fiercely protective. No matter where they are around the world, those seagulls are never far from a body of water. During this time, male seagulls work to show off in a variety of ways so they will be selected by a female as reproductive mates. Once a seagull has found her mate, however, their behavior remains pretty calm because all courtship behaviors are complete. Although gulls do settle in colonies and groups, each group has their own personal plot of land.
An interesting fact regarding gulls and their courting behavior is they take part in homosexual mate selection. Similar to elephants and the very familiar Homo sapien, some gulls will select same-sex mates. There are particularly high instances of this off the coast of Santa Barbara. Although it is unclear why exactly gulls take part in this behavior, it is possibly has to do with the high female-to-male ratio on the islands. Studies regarding this behavior continue to find out more about the lesbian seagulls that have caused quite the ruckus in both homosexual and conservative groups. Multicellularity, tissues, bilateral symmetry, body cavity, zoilum, jointed appendages, and notochord are the evolutionary milestones.